Hey everyone, welcome back to Yulan's channel. Today we'll be beginning our second subunit of Unit 5, which is about memory, and today we'll be focusing on encoding. So hope you enjoy. There are 3 steps in creating a new memory. Encoding is the first. Encoding is the process of sensing information, processing the information, and storing it to be retrieved later. According to the processing information model, which we'll be talking about this now, there are 3 different levels of processing information. The first one is visual encoding. Visual encoding is the process of remembering visual images. Visually encoded information is forgotten easily, therefore, it's the most shallow type of processing. An example of visual encoding would be trying to remember a list of words with each word only being shown for a second. You should be able to remember if there was a word written in red ink or written with all the capital letters. The second type is acoustic encoding, which is a little bit deeper than the visual encoding. Acoustic encoding, as the name suggests, is a processing and encoding of sound. But this, even though it's deeper than visual encoding, is not as deep as semantic encoding. You could think of it as intermediate processing. For instance, it would be like an example would be remembering a slogan to a famous commercial, or even knowing the lyrics to a song that you enjoy. The third type, which is the deepest level of encoding, is semantic encoding. Is when a word, phrase, picture, etc. is encoded on the basis of meaning rather than the sound or vision of it. Studies show that people have a better memory when using semantic encoding, since it's the deepest level of processing. So this photo is, we'll talk about self-references later, and this is structural, phonemic, and semantic. And this is the level of the memory that it can be actually remembered. We can enhance how well we remember something by rehearsing the information. The first type is maintenance rehearsal, which is a process of repeatedly thinking about or verbalizing a certain piece of information. For example, you may not remember the phone number of your favorite takeout restaurant, so you ask your friend near you for the number, they have it memorized, then you keep repeating it to yourself until you are able to reach the phone and dial the number. So this is a method that we always use when we are trying to memorize a phone number. The second type is elaborative rehearsal, which is the process of using active thinking about the meaning of the term that needs to be remembered rather than just repeating the word or information over and over again. For instance, if you want to remember the term hippocampus, you should first look up what it means. Then you find its purpose, look at the diagram, and study it. Then you think about how the term relates to the things you already know. There's a self-reference effect. When you apply a situation to yourself, you are more likely to remember what the situation is. For instance, if you are studying for AP psychology and word sensory adaptation comes across your notes, you could think about where you were experiencing it. Maybe that morning you went outside and smelled the grass, but a few minutes later the smell was gone. This will help you remember the term and makes the memory more durable. Relevant information is processed more deeply and it remains more accessible, so that you can recall it quickly. Another study tip is imagery. If you're reading about an experiment, try to picture the experiment in your mind. Creating visual images in your mind as you study always helps with the memory as well. A tip is that whenever the meaning of a term is mentioned, you should automatically think of deep processing, so that you can actually retrieve the knowledge about this concept when you encounter this type of question, or a question that's targeting this concept when you are doing the AP psychology exam. So that's the end of our video today. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you in our next video.